4B, when San Angelo got urbanized. For how long have cities existed? Well, in the Eastern Hemisphere, for thousands of years. Nonetheless, in the Western Hemisphere, and in West Texas especially, cities like San Angelo are relatively new. San Angelo started off as a community next to Fort Concho in the late 1860s. In its early days, San Angelo was unorganized and pretty filthy by today's standards because it was for Fort Concho's contractors. But in the 1800s, things turned around. It became the county seat for Tom Green County. It became the terminus for the Santa Fe Railroad. Nearby ranchers and farmers went there to get supplies, sell goods, take care of business and legal matters, take in some services, and be entertained. Churches, schools, and businesses of all kinds were erected to provide services for the city dwellers and the visiting rural folks. So, as in any growing city, food, energy, water, and land were being consumed by the people at a quick rate. In turn, the polluted urban environment affected the health and quality of life of the people. Therefore, as in all cities of the time, infrastructure was needed. This prompted leaders into planning. Water needed to be moved from the river to other locations. So pipes were put in blasted ditches under streets to provide fire protection. Shown is one intersection's infrastructure starting in about 1889 and forward. Why this intersection? Because the Nimitz Hotel's location is an example of what was happening throughout the town. That hotel was lucky to have a well. It may have had a hand pump. Unfortunately, that hotel burned. It was replaced with another hotel with a windmill over the existing well. Add electricity and phone, and they were doing fine. But that hotel burned. It was replaced, and other replacements were built. In the final picture of that intersection, one can see the infrastructure of traffic control. Even though the city was still small, plans were being acted upon. A dam was set up at the Lone Wolf Bridge area to double as a water reservoir for city faucets and a reservoir for cooling the machinery of the power plant. Folks also used their Concho Lake as a place for entertainment. In the 1890s and early 1900s, large homes beautified some of the places in San Angelo, though on average, homes were generally small and basic. People also beautified the stark West Texas landscape with shade trees. And since cars didn't exist until the 1910s, there was an effort in keeping the animal manure from being a problem in the city. Now imagine coming into town from your ranch. The tall county courthouse could be seen from miles around. But eventually, in the 1920s, the antiquated courthouse was replaced with a new one. Not quite the skyline beacon of the old one. By coincidence, a unique skyline landmark was built at about the same time, the Cactus Hotel. In the city, buildings were torn down, buildings were erected. The city doubled in size between 1940 and 1950. In the late 1950s, a new place for rodeos stock shows, circuses, and large events was constructed. The Colosseum. As the city grew, infrastructure was expanded and improved upon. Even at the present, city and county officials continually evaluate present infrastructure and make predictions for future infrastructure. Someone playing SimCity Build It can understand the complexity. Water, energy, transportation, communication, sanitation, safety, and even economic boosts are always on the minds of city and county leaders of the San Angelo area. All cities and towns stress the natural environment, but are great havens for humans.